Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look here again at Solana, double checking some support levels. Honestly, that's pretty much what we need to do when the price pulls back like this. What areas are we going to try to get into if you are considering a long position, or is it worth taking a short at this point? I would say in short, not a good idea too short, just because Solana is looking pretty strong here. Contrary to majority of other coins kind of selling off a little more aggressively. So I would recommend, again, just a little bit of patience. Still good within the range that we're in here. And, Bitcoin is bottoming out between 67, 68,000. And I think there's a solid chance that we're going to see some support in that range, reiterating and reaffirming support here for Solana. So just some friendly advice. Be careful taking trades today. I would say just, relax, take it easy. Don't get too ahead of yourself. But at this point here, if we do take a look at liquidation, just to jump right in, we can see we have upwards about 175 as a higher point between 173 and 175. That's the upper liquidation levels here in the last, this is what, the last 7 days worth of trading. But we do have a decent amount at about 160. So heaven forbid the price comes down to low 160 range. We'd probably see a sweep at 160 itself. That wouldn't be a bad idea to consider a limit order in that range, just as a precaution. I think we have a secondary target somewhere in the range of 164. We barely didn't get filled. It was like right here at about 164.50. We're really close to getting a nice average entry there. But what I'm getting at is that Solana is strong right now. So even though we're seeing some candle wicks down to kind of sweep different areas of liquidation, there's still a good chance we could see the price continue further up because of all that extra liquidation above us. Again, this is not a reason or anything. This is not an example of why you should take a long position. It's just kind of reaffirming the fact that there's more liquidation above than below the price action, and that sometimes will incentivize the whales to push the price in different directions. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't drop obnoxiously here soon, I feel Solana will continue to maintain its level, its range, and or break to the upside. But let's reiterate and reaffirm a couple of things here that are important. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're still maintaining above the 20-day SMA. Okay, so we could pretty much draw a trend line out here for this guy and just recognize that we're looking pretty solid. Okay? In that regard, it's not exact science, but generally speaking, we're ascending positively here. I'll go ahead and mark that in orange, just because those are kind of my stronger moving averages, my stronger support and resistance levels, just ones we want to pay attention to, and just kind of reiterate a couple of things here on the lower time frame. So if we take a look here, we can see stochastic RSI is swinging down, but the price of Solana is moving sideways. Okay, again, somewhat within a range, but still mostly sideways. So what's nice about this is we're maintaining above 50 in the RSI, and stochastic's pulling back. When stochastic gets to the downside, that gives us that momentous shift back to the upside in most cases. So again, the price going sideways, stochastic pulling back, it implies the next leg up will be probably coming very soon. We can also recognize as well that MACD is diverging here, though. This is slightly contrary to that. We actually haven't seen a MACD divergence in quite some time for Solana. Last time we diverged from this was March 22nd. This was a stochastic correction. This was a MACD divergence right here. In fact, the price came up and recovered quite nicely and inevitably came back down. Okay, so just keep in mind, MACD is not a guarantee. It's not an official thing. While I do love using it as a confirming factor, there's a lot of other reasons here as to why the price action hasn't broken bearish yet. Okay, so again, daily time frame still looks decent. And to reiterate and reaffirm you too as well, Bitcoin has a similar structure on the daily. Okay, it's also very bullish in the overall sense, or not quite broken bearish yet. Okay, while it's not perfect, no trading chart truly is. We are seeing some supports in the current range for both coins. Now, we can see a lot of volume coming into this last 4-hour candle here, so it's not great. It does imply that the bulls are losing their momentum. We are right here at the most recent point of control at 168. So if we lose 168 today, we could very well see the price travel to the low 160s. If that is the case, once again, a lot of support down at 157 to 160 range. Previous highs and also more longer term moving averages. So discussing kind of the 4-hour time frame here, just kind of clarify, we're not in bad shape either here because we are above majority moving averages minus the 50. I did talk about this yesterday. Getting above the 50-day SMA would be a very positive sign. It's very common for prices to reject initially off that level. So this is standard stuff. It probably would have broken through hadn't Bitcoin been such a bug here today. But once again, you can never truly anticipate that, right? Bitcoin is an elusive beast. It's that that fish that always evades you, right? I see some funny memes online too about how people are trying to catch like falling items, and it's like, okay, it's never going to happen really. It's never an exact science. So the better thing you can do for yourself is to learn to laugh at the market and try to keep a positive attitude. Because again, I know it can kind of suck to wake up to a red portfolio, but truth is, if you play your cards right, it's never really a big issue. And low leverage, low position size, and you'll have a lot less stress. I can assure you that. That's what we do as a community, and it's worked very, very well for most people. Some people don't love it. They expect to get rich overnight, and then they leave, which, okay, that's fine. But it's not what this is. Cryptocurrency is basically just a medium. It's a platform to be able to have a healthy or unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, you got to structure your life around it and make sure that you're not letting this get the best of you. Okay, conversation for another day. I talk about emotional trading, my trading university. So make sure to watch that if you're part of my community. So let's go ahead and reset back here. 4-hour time frame, looking kind of neutral in the 4-hour time frame. Honestly, money flow index RSI right there at 50, above and below, kind of this normal little up and down. That I would say it's possibly construed as a good sign though, because of how the price action is forming. Again, we're staying within this range while it's kind of an adjusting range and it keeps moving up and down a little bit. We're still kind of working within this area. Okay, 165 roughly, upwards of about 171. Okay, so staying in that range is positive. We're honoring the ascending trend here too as well. Still, while it's not perfect, it's still, we're still looking decent. Things are okay here. And I don't see anything stark and terrible. The only thing that's obvious is that once we get over that 50-day SMA, I think we're going to be off to the races. Until then, we can presume we're going to have this kind of resistance. And if we look at the hourly too, this is where things get interesting, because while it's not a perfect setup here, we're still maintaining above the cloud. Okay, so let's actually zoom in a little bit more for you so you can see that. We can see we're still above the cloud. Conversion line's above the baseline, but the lagging span is kind of breaking to the downside. So this is 2 out of 3 reasons to lean more towards a long position versus a short position. And if you kind of start splitting hairs here, you can see we're establishing higher lows still with parallel highs. Those generally break to the upside in most cases as far as patterns are concerned. So again, this is just an example. This is not a perfect situation here. If we do kind of draw out this range, we can kind of see, generally speaking, we are ascending positively in this overall situation here. I don't love it. You could actually argue that's somewhat of a bear flag too, because the price is coming down here, and sometimes they do break to the downside. So again, that's the funny thing about trading patterns or just the overall sentiment here. We won't break down unless Bitcoin breaks down. Okay, so that potential flag pattern would essentially break downwards if Bitcoin drops to just say 67 or 66,000, which is possible. There's liquidation down there. However, Bitcoin just say goes sideways right now. Solana is due to recover and recover strong. It's been doing very well, establishing higher highs and higher lows. So in my opinion, I'm still leaning more towards Solana going up than down. But once more, there's a lot of different thought processes here. So the truth is, no one truly knows, and at this point, it's all speculation. But we can speculate with good reason here that we still have a lot of supporting factors. So again, if the price does pull back, I would say 157 to 160 is a pretty solid consideration just based on liquidation here, and the fact that once we sweep that 160 range, there's really not a whole heck of a lot of liquidation left to the downside. Once again, this is the last 7 days. We've looked at larger time frames before too. There's not a lot. Okay, so I think we're in decent shape here, honestly. Bitcoin holds 68,000. I think Solana's going to go off and continue to move further up close to that 0.786 fib level at about 178. All right, that's what we got there, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below, like, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already. If you're newer to the channel, I've got a Twitter, Telegram, Discord, TikTok now, as well as YouTube Shorts. So pick your poison, whichever works best for you. But I look forward to getting to know you better if you want to jump on over to our Discord and get to know our community. We've got an awesome group there. Thanks again for your time, folks. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.